In this video, we'll be talking about how 7 to 8 figure brands scale with awareness maxing, and they're using these 5 types of ads to scale their revenues on paid media. Eugene Schwartz, 5 levels of awareness, where it's most aware, product aware, solution aware, problem aware, and unaware. The most straightforward type of advertising is, of course, with most aware types of ads. This is where you're really competing on product and price. But where you start to generate a lot more revenue and upside is when you can tap into problem-aware and unaware crowds, because this is where majority of people are at. And so this is where you talk about benefits and anxieties, stories and secrets, and really tapping into a blue ocean of prospects. For context, I run an e-commerce brand that's now doing about 250K a month. I'm documenting my journey, mistakes, and learnings in real time. And in hindsight, we really only got to 100K a month when we were able to ascend awareness levels in our advertising. So when I first started out, I was a complete beginner. It's all about product and pricing, discounts and deals. But when I was really able to design our advertising to the unaware markets and the problem-aware markets, that's where we started to gain a bit of skill. Now let's break down the 5 different stages of awareness and what their ads look like. I've attached examples as well, and I'll run through some of these ads with you. But starting first with the most aware and author-driven ad, this is where most beginners live in. These are ads that are not hard to make. They are basically competing on price and the product. This could look like buy 2 get 1 free. If you're waiting to restock, this is the best deal this quarter. So you usually see these types of ads during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, 20% off, a discount, ships in 24 hours, while stock to us. So an example of such an ad would be Dr. Marty Pets, which is a brand that I really like. They do a lot of direct response, but this is an ad that's pretty much going after the most aware markets, right? Which is just a flash sale, 51% off, and it leads directly to a product page where people can check out. So it's pretty straightforward. I wouldn't talk too much into most aware type of ads because you probably already know this and it's not difficult to create. Now to ascend to the next level, it's product aware. This is where you are really driving on proof and credibility. So this could be testimonials, right? Here's exactly what changed when customers swapped from this category to our product. 9 out of 10 customers reported a specific outcome in 30 days. See the reviews. So we are seeing a lot of testimonials type of ads like this, where it's talking about a specific problem that this UGC creator or this customer has experienced and how they were able to overcome it with the product. Or it could be an ad like this where it talks about the benefits based on like survey respondents. So 86% of users experience weight loss, 77% said it helps these mood swings. So it's a lot of credibility and proof, just trying to show you that the product works. So here's an ad example. So as you can see, this is the before state where it's talking about the different problems that they solve for. Put on 12 pounds without changing my diet. Was still exhausted to work out, my confidence hit rock bottom. So this is the before state. And then the introduction of the product. And then the results of the product. So weight started melting off effortlessly. I started working out again. Hubby loves showing me off. I can enjoy my living. Okay, so this is the after state. So it's pretty similar to some of these ad examples over here. And it leads to a product page like this, where the messaging, of course, aligns with the ad. So we're talking about weight loss, feeling more confident than ever, flattened apron belly, boost energy and weight goodbye to bloat. So this is an example of Happy Mammoth, which is a pretty huge consumer brand. The next one is solution-aware advertisements. So these would be more promise-driven. So an example that I linked here is for a magnesium brand. So the hook is say fall asleep faster and have the best sleep. And the mechanism is basically magnesium glycinate, which is sourced from the Dead Sea with 46 times less in heavy metals. All right, so here's the ad.
Take this vital mineral to support amazing sleep this week. The number one cause of sleepless nights isn't melatonin, caffeine, or your mattress, but the body's magnesium levels declining with age. I'm Daniel, the founder of Organics Ocean, and magnesium is a mineral that can help with not only sleep, but stress and muscle cramping. And magnesium glycinate is the preferred magnesium due to its incredible absorption rate. Now, not all magnesium glycinate is made equally, so stay away from magnesium sourced from China and the big brands over the counter. Also stay away from oxide, magnesium oxide blends. The only magnesium you want is Kilamax magnesium glycinate, sourced straight from the Dead Sea because it has 46 times less heavy metals than others. Magnesium can totally change the game for people with sleep problems. You can take it with one small glass of water per night before bed. You can try Organics Ocean risk-free for 90 days. And by the way, you save a ton of money when you buy 3 or 6 months supply. Tap here to learn more about the cleanest magnesium we've sourced and found in the entire world.
All right, cool. So with this ad, I think a huge part of the angle is you're talking to people that know about magnesium, and you notice how he mentioned a couple of times why his magnesium is different and how most ordinary magnesium that you buy from the shelf or with questionable sourcing, you don't want to touch those. But his magnesium glycinate is sourced from the Dead Sea, right? And if you look at the landing page, you'll notice that it's built for pretty much solution-aware people as well. So he mentions why pure magnesium glycinate, because I'm sure if you have bought magnesium supplements, you may not have known about this specific nuance around what kinds of magnesium to consume. So he specifically goes after explaining why pure magnesium glycinate is a better alternative. So he explains in here why, according to WHO, we lack quality magnesium in our bodies. Every single organ requires magnesium, and this mineral depletes with time. And as the page goes on, we talk about what's inside the bottle. So this is the unique mechanism of the solution. So he mentions why glycinate is the best form of magnesium, and us versus them. So you can see over here why not every magnesium is made the same. So this is other brands, they have heavy metals, different issues like that, but with their brand they have pretty much all the good stuff only. So this is an example of a solution-aware advertisement that will work really well. Alright, let's now go to problem-aware advertisements. This is from a brand called Wolves. And these ads would be a bit more pain-driven.
Whether your dog has a sensitive stomach, is recovering from antibiotics, or you just want to support their long-term health, this kind of daily routine can be one of the simplest and most impactful things you can do for them. I've seen how important gut health is, not just for digestion, but for a dog's entire immune system. In fact, a large portion of your dog's immune defenses actually live in the gut. That means when the gut is out of...
Now let's quickly talk about this first. So why is this a problem-aware advertisement? Because you notice that the ad starts with
whether your dog has a sensitive stomach,
mentioning the problems that a dog may face, your dog might face. So in this case, sensitive stomach, recovery from antibiotics, and how you want to support long-term health.
or you just want to support their...
It goes on to explain how this tummy issues,
just for
gut health is so important to overall vitality.
for a dog's entire immune system. In fact, a large portion of your dog's immune defenses actually live in the gut.
Now, as you can see, in this next part, he raises the stake of the problem. So it's expanding from tummy issues to immune system and overall vitality. So mentioning how
In fact,
your dog's entire immune system and immune defenses actually lives in the gut as well.
dogs' immune defenses actually live in the gut. That means when the gut is out of balance, it doesn't just affect their tummy. It can impact their overall health and vitality. Daily probiotic can make it...
So this is the introduction of the solution. So in this case, they're positioning it as a daily probiotic.
real difference. When you give your dog a high-quality supplement like Wolf's Daily Probiotic, you're helping to support the growth of beneficial bacteria, improve digestion, and reinforce their immune system from Zyda. I recommend sticking with it consistently. Gut health doesn't change overnight, but with time, you'll start to see it.
All right, so this basically positions the offer as if you could tackle gut balance, improve their gut health, it would fortify their immune system, their immune defenses, which in turn makes your dog healthier. So it's a pretty simple mechanism. They're just breaking it down, showing you the logical arguments, and they show you the product at the end of it. So this is a pretty straightforward funnel, and then they bring you to a editorial page where they talk about the silent struggle in your dog's gut, why waiting could be a mistake, and different issues that you might notice as a pet parent. So this would be digestive issues, skin discomfort, food sensitivities. So they're blaming a lot of these symptoms as problems in your dog's gut. So this is where you can come in and help by using a probiotic by Woos, and then you can get started for $9.99. So this is pretty much in a session funnel. So they get people in at $9.99, and then there's a subscription back end with cross-selling other products as well. Now the next part is unaware advertisement. So these are curiosity-driven ads, and they focus and go after more unaware markets. So these would involve telling stories, explaining mechanisms, talking about different leads and different secrets. I love these types of ads because sometimes they don't actually look like ads. They are pretty long form in the concept in terms of telling a story. It almost feels like an infomercial, and it's sharing something that maybe the audience wouldn't know. And so your aim is really not to sell the product upfront. You're just trying to build curiosity, tease a mechanism, and essentially bring them through a series of logical arguments in your sales letter so that eventually when it reaches the end, you introduce your product as the solution to whatever that you have mentioned in the earlier parts of the sales letter. And the reason why I love this way of selling is because you're really opening up a lot of new audiences and eyeballs. People that are in the problem aware or unaware stages, where they're just really trying to figure out or hear more about the story, and then you position the solution at the end of it. As you can see, this is Primera, a clickbank offer. As you can see over here, there is the big promise header, which is avoid Kegels, 4-second bladder fix. On this page, there is no mention of any product. There's nothing that you can buy. And so the only thing you can do is to just watch the video. And the product is introduced about 20-30 minutes in. And until then, it's really about how we can build curiosity and just give the viewer dopamine by learning new things. I won't go too much into depth on exactly what the VSL script is, but if you want to go and look at their VSL and study their transcript, I think you would glean a lot of insight from it. But essentially, the flow of the entire VSL goes something like this. This lady called Alex, she's a health expert, and she talks about how this specific group of women have stronger pelvic floors than most 30-year-olds. And she uses a visual demonstration with bananas, right? So showing a ripe banana and a rotten banana. And it's the difference between ancient pelvis versus the modern pelvis. And she mentions about how it's not genetics, it's not Kegels, it's something you use every day. So most VSLs tend to go against the conventional wisdom, so that is how they keep people watching. They essentially attribute the unique mechanism of the problem to something else. Then we go on to the story. So this is a micro lead or a lead within the VSL where Alex explains how her mom suffered from severe bladder leakage after chemo. So nothing worked, not even Alex's own programs. Then she met Dr. T. So this is the kind of like the keys of the person that, or the credibility or the expert that created this forgotten Eastern European solution. And so this is something unique. So it builds emotional resonance and it's a relatable guide. So essentially what she's trying to do is build rapport, build that human connection. It's almost like a friend sharing with you something useful. Next, you have credibility. So she introduces herself as a renowned pelvic health expert, backed by peer-reviewed studies from Stanford, Cairo, Turkish journals, etc. Then she mentions Dr. T again, a Ukrainian scientist, and testimonials from real women. So this builds trust with the science, authority, and shows real-world proof. So this is really important with VSL. You want to show stories of people experiencing the breakthrough. Next, we talk about the unique mechanism of the problem. And in here, Alex talks about how it's not your pelvic muscles, which is what most conventional wisdom will talk about. It's actually about your kidneys. So modern women suffer from toxic overload. So this is quite believable if you think about it, right? It's kind of like the trend that it's going on right now with making America healthy again. There is believability around how modern society is poisoning us, and kidneys can't filter this poison. So the blood can't nourish muscles and the pelvic floor collapses. So Kegels don't work if kidneys are offline. And so she reframes the entire problem with a new villain, which is basically the kidney, and flips belief and removes blame. And here, this is where she transitions into the solution. The unique mechanism of the solution is a 4-second Eastern European alignment ritual. And so this is where she talks about how she created the product New Era Protect. Capsule targets kidney function plus pelvic alignment and uses only natural ingredients like sumac, boswellia, zinc, D3, and resveratrol. So this delivers a promise with exotic, simple, novel solution, and it's the mechanism plus benefit stack. So I have summarized this, but if you want to look at it, she goes on to explain how the different ingredient has many different benefits and how it is actually helping to protect your kidney function, which in turn helps with your pelvic function. And then lastly, it's the close, where it's a lot of future pacing and offering discounted bundles and the 60-day guarantee. Scroll down, choose the package, add to cart. So this is where she delivers a promise. The product is the 4-second daily ritual, right? The 4-second bladder fix. As you can see, as you go down the journey, it essentially targets every awareness level, right? Because at the start, at the hook, you're really going after unaware and problem-aware people. And as you go on with the story, the credibility, the unique mechanism of the problem, you're teaching and educating people to become solution aware before you finally introduce your unique mechanism of the solution, which makes them product aware and most aware. And then, of course, when people are being driven to the product aware and most aware stage, this is where you introduce like the 60-day guarantee, the bundles, the special pricing when you buy more, and this is where people convert to the most aware stage. And this VSL starts with this entire flow, basically bringing someone from A to B. And this is what makes VSL so great, because they can bring an entire prospect through a logical series of arguments that get them from unaware to most aware, which they eventually convert and buy the product. So this is basically how awareness maxing looks like. Essentially, you want to have a diversity of advertisements where you tackle most aware, product aware, solution aware, problem aware, and unaware types of advertisements. So personally, I like to add in a mix of different creatives, but I love the unaware ads because it allows my customers and prospects to go from A to B a lot faster. And then, of course, within my creative library, I would have different types of ads that would reinforce that, so that if they don't take the buying decision over here at this stage, they can take a buying decision maybe here, or one of the ads here, or one of the ads here, so on and so forth. So that is how awareness maxing looks like and how you can use it for your own brand as well.